Welcome back, Light Up Literature family. Today we are working on mastering the comma rules common for 7th grade ELA and grammar. So let's jump right in. Commas are punctuation marks that help us organize and clarify our sentences. They help avoid confusion, separating ideas, and making it easier to read. So some of them can be pretty funny, like, let's eat grandma. No, we love grandma. Let's eat, comma, grandma. That's better. Now, let's look at our 7 rules that we are going to be covering in this video. So this is going to be a little bit longer. We've got commas in compound sentences, commas after introductory elements, commas in a list using, yes, that Oxford comma, commas with extra information, that non-essential clauses, commas with direct address, commas with adjectives or coordinative adjectives, and commas in dialogue and quotes. So at the end, don't forget, we're going to have plenty of practice with each one of these skills. Rule 1, commas in compound sentences. So essentially, when you have a compound sentence, you have 2 independent clauses and you need to join them together with a comma and a coordinating conjunction, which are your fanboys: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. The comma goes where the period would be if we just had those as 2 simple sentences. So it goes before the conjunction. The storm was strong, comma, but we stayed outside and watched a movie. She wanted a new phone, comma, so she saved her allowance. Now we can see in our fix our mistakes, he loves basketball, but he also likes soccer. Well, what we've created there is a comma splice. We don't have our comma before our conjunction, so we need to add that. All right, rule 2. Commas after introductory elements. So this can be for introductory words, phrases like or clauses like dependent clauses when you're using complex sentences. So after the game, comma, we went out for pizza. That's our dependent clause after the game. Then we're going to add our comma, because if we start a sentence with a dependent clause, we have to add our comma. Second sentence, while I was studying, comma, my sister played video games. Again, dependent clause, so we need our comma. Yes, I would love to help you. Yes is one of those interjectory words, so we're going to say yes, comma, I would love to help you, to separate that. And our common mistake is after the game, we went out for pizza. So that after a game is one of our awubis words for complex sentences. So we're going to add our comma. Rule 3. Commas in a list, also known as the Oxford comma, but that's not super important for you to know. Essentially, if you have 2 or more items in a list, you need a comma before the and or the or. So I bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, and bananas. My favorite subjects are math, comma, science, comma, and history. Hey, where's English? All right, so now let's take a look at our practice. I love my parents, Lady Gaga and Batman. All right, are Lady Gaga and Batman your parents? Well, the way it's written, it's kind of like, I love my parents. And who are my parents? Extra information, Lady Gaga and Batman. If that is, you've got a super cool family. But for clarity, it should be, I love my parents, comma, Lady Gaga, comma, and Batman. Of course, that's if Lady Gaga and Batman are not your parents. So let's look at number 4, our extra information, things that we don't need for the sentence to make sense. We can throw commas around it so that our commas are kind of like our hands, and we can pick those words up and toss them out of our sentence because we don't need them. And sometimes that helps to make sure we don't have subject-verb issues, agreement issues. All right, so my brother, who just turned 10, loves soccer. My brother, comma, who just turned 10, comma, loves soccer. If we pick up who just turned 10, our hands are our commas, and toss it, my brother loves soccer. We still have the key information, and so that's non-essential clause. We don't need it. The Eiffel Tower, comma, which is in Paris, comma, is a famous landmark. All right, well, if we toss out which is in Paris, chunk it, The Eiffel Tower is a famous landmark. Perfect. We make sense. We're not missing any information to understand that the Eiffel Tower is a famous landmark. So that is set off perfectly with commas. Now, my brother, who just turned 10, loves soccer. That's one of our practices. But remember, we want to make sure that we can quickly identify this, because when we read it, it does make sense, but we want to clarify it so that we don't have those missing commas. My brother, comma, who just turned 10, comma, loves soccer. All right, number 5, commas with direct address. When we're talking directly to someone and calling their name, or like, grandma, comma, the cookies are burning, we're going to use a comma. So, mom, comma, can you help me? Mom, we're talking to mom directly. We're going to throw our comma in there. Sarah, you did a great job. Sarah gets her comma. Let's go, Jake. Let's go, comma, Jake. So even if it's at the end of the sentence, we're still going to use our comma. So, we've got our example. Let's go, comma, Jake. It sounds like someone's named Go Jake, or like Go Jake. Woo, woo, woo. That's not what we're doing. So we've got to throw that comma in there. All right, rule 6, commas with adjectives or coordinate adjectives. So this is when you're using two different adjectives to describe the exact same word. We're going to throw a comma there. And a quick way to know if you need the comma is if you replace the comma with the word and. If you can read it like that and it makes sense, you're good to go. All right. The cold and windy day made me shiver. All right. The cold and windy day made me shiver. All right. That's good to go. He is smart, He is a smart, hardworking student. All right. If we use our little trick of replacing the comma with an and, he is a smart and hardworking student. Perfect. Now let's look at some of these others. She wore a red, dress. No. She wore a red and dress. No. Red is describing the dress, so we don't need our comma. That's just one word describing the dress. Now, if we changed it to she wore a sparkly red dress, would we need a comma? She wore a sparkly and red dress. You could use it, but more than likely you're not going to. All right, so let's go to our last comma rule that we're going to take a look at. Commas in dialogues and quotes. So when we're introducing our dialogue or our quote, or it's broken up into two parts, we're going to use a comma or two. She said, comma, I love reading. So the comma goes on the outside of the quotation marks when we're introducing it. Now, if we use let's go outside, comma, quotation mark, since that's going to be, we're adding our dialogue tag at the end, we're going to put our comma inside the quotation mark. Now, when you have it to where the sentence breaks up, if it rains, you're going to put your comma in the quotation mark. And then when we start with she added, we're going to put our comma there before the next part of the quotations. So, he said, comma, let's go to the mall. So we're going to have to add that. If we don't add it, we're going to be making a mistake. All right, let's get to some practice. Fix these sentences. Go ahead, take a look at these, pause the video, and then I'll see you on the flip side for the answers. All right, my cousin who lives in Texas, is visiting next week. I like to read, but I also enjoy watching movies. Quotation, let's go to the park, quotation mark, she said. And number 4, the noisy, crowded room made it hard to concentrate. So remember, if we switch that comma with an and, the noisy and crowded room made it hard to concentrate. Noisy and crowded are both describing the room. All right, let's go to our second practice. All right, there are 2 common mistakes in each one of these sentences. Pause the video. I'll see you on the flip side for the answers. All right, number 1, before we left for vacation, comma, that's our dependent clause, we packed sunscreen, comma, hats, comma, and sunglasses. So we've got our complex sentence. We start with one of our WUBIS words. We've got our dependent clause with a comma, and then we've got our items in a list with our commas. Number 2, quotations on a split sentence. Quotation, if you need help, comma, quotation mark. Comma goes on the inside of that quotation mark. She, said the teacher, comma, on the outside of the quotation mark, quotation, just raise your hand, with the period on the inside of the quotation mark. All right. She ran to the store and bought milk, eggs, comma, but forgot the bread. I've been there too many times. So we can see how we're using our commas in a list on this third one. All right, so that is our final wrap-up of the key elements of comma usages that you're going to be tested on and really need to know by the end of 7th grade, because once we get into 8th grade, there's more complex sentences that you're going to have to use commas for. So, final challenge, create 3 sentences using at least 3 different comma rules. So you go back to the beginning of the video. You've got all 7 of those key rules for 7th grade. Make sure you create 1 of each. And if you are in my classroom, one of my kiddos, go ahead and go to your curriculum and let's work on our practice. If you need help, you need curriculum, go ahead and go over to lightupLiterature.com and you can snag you some 7th grade comma practice worksheets or even a mini course or course. All right, until next time, stay safe, healthy, and happy. Bye.